I'm stuck in that part.
Yeah. I think it just goes back to the just like that. Yep. Hello and welcome to episode 25 of Frozen North. Here we are again, 25 episodes later. I'm excited. Who else is excited?
I'm excited. Who else is excited?
I'm pretty excited.
Brian's excited. Mark's excited. I'm excited. All right.
I can't wait to,
I don't have anything else that's clever.
I can't wait to talk about this.
I
I'm so excited right now.
Brian's excited.
Like,
He is.
I'm really excited, actually. Woo!
We are the Frozen North podcast. We're here to talk about video games, story-focused video games, RPGs, adventures, Zelda, whatever you would classify that as.
Not Tetris.
And no, not to well. Tetris has a decent story.
Minecraft.
Minecraft, you know, there's something. there.
Minesweeper. Sweeping mines.
Nope.
Solitaire.
Solitaire. Yeah,
There's
one game that Mark's beaten.
Oh! Drop the
Ouch.
mic. Drop the mic. Drop. No, he can't.
I don't
drop.
want to
Okay.
because it's expensive,
Okay.
so I won't. 25, guys. 25 episodes.
25 is
25
the
episodes.
25. A little funny story.
That's a
about,
respectable amount.
I know it is.
funny story about 25. 5 years ago, I was that age.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay!
I don't know how to respond to that, but hooray. All right. Oh, man. As I said, my name is JJ, and I'm here with, obviously, my two buddies. First up, we got Brian.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. And to my left is Mark.
Howdy, y'all.
And he was doing the melancholy voice before, and now all of a sudden,
Yeah, it's past. It's a bug. It's like,
why?
Ohio gozaimasu.
what was it?
It's not.
Is that better?
By the way,
Is
I
that-
just want to point out that you always try to like trick me sometimes. I'm literally like surprise proof.
Honestly, I don't. I don't. It's
just
all
trying to
about
throw-
him.
yeah, you're trying to throw-
Absolutely. Every time.
because you want him to be like, howdy. Oh,
Just because.
next time go look at him and go, and my co-host Brian, and then he'll try to set, and then it'll come out. And,
keep my eyes focused on him and say
yeah,
Brian.
and say, and then he'll.
I might try that.
Oh
yeah.
my God! Don't.
Yes.
Yep, we got it.
Oh,
You'll
man.
never know when it'll happen.
Jeez. All right. Why don't we get
That's
into,
your hate mail voice.
why don't we
That
get into
is.
some emails, guys?
Ooh, do I need to bring out my voice?
We no, you didn't get any hate mail.
Oh,
unfortunately.
you guys!
I don't know what's wrong with people.
I don't
Seriously, it's like you guys like
don't
me or
get it.
something. You guys like me?
Dude, believe me, I don't think that's the case.
Oh,
I think it's just a lack of listeners.
yeah. Come on, you four listeners.
We got a couple of emails, just people saying like, great job and stuff like that, which we totally appreciate. We're going to be talking about a big one that we got from our buddy Isaac, and
He's actually
Man.
he's the reason for our Beyond the Game this week, huh?
it is,
Yeah.
one of the questions he
Way to
asked.
go,
Yeah.
Isaac.
So, we talked about it for a bunch before the show even is
Yeah.
being recorded, so should be good. Well, we'll get right into it. He sent us a book, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of skim and read the important parts of what we're going to go over. He says, firstly, I'm nearing the end of Final Fantasy VI with only a few optional areas to go before I finish the game. Way to go, dude. I've been using the Vanished Doom bug to my advantage, so I was able to beat the Storm Dragon at level 29 with a party of Edgar, Celeste, Sabin, and Mog. Not exactly the strongest party ever. That's ridiculous, man. Using bugs to... not even,
I respect it. Mad respect
That's
from
Mark.
me.
You
That's
would.
Mark's
You have
wheelhouse.
to
You
find
would.
those exploits, and
Yeah, but you can't use it on the
I guess
final
that's a
boss of
verb.
the
So
game.
you have to exploit them.
You can't use it on the final boss of the game. He's level 29.
Can you not?
Can you? No. That's not going to work on him. I don't think so. If it does, then that's ridiculous. But I don't think it does. Pretty sure.
I respect it.
Working as intended.
I'm sure you do. I like to play the game as the developers intended with cheat codes.
Well, they did put him in there, right?
Oh boy.
Fact.
He says, I have a few opinions about the game so far, but the opinion that I hold about the game right now is that it's much too haphazard and, in my opinion, lazily put together when the World of Ruin begins.
I take everything back that I just said.
Man,
Yeah.
that's like a dagger to your two
Yep.
hearts, like right there.
Before that, I thought the game was amazing, but now I think it's much too non-linear, especially for a Final Fantasy. I wonder, what do you all think about this? Does it get any better? And then he talks about some of the characters, and
Phoenix
stuff. But
Cave.
man, he hasn't gone to get locked yet. But
When you go to that town,
non-linear, I
and
think
the-
that's the best part because you can choose which characters to get and in what order, and well, for the most part, because you need some to get others. But man, I don't know, dude. Man,
that left a bad taste in my mouth. I'll just say that.
listening to this or the actual part in the game he's talking about.
Him saying horrible things about
World of Ruin?
poor Final Fantasy VI, who did nothing to him.
I think it made it not. I think it non-lineared him.
I mean, he asks, does it get any better? I mean, you're nearing the end of the game. Technically, you could beat the game right now if you wanted to. Well, maybe not at your level, but like, you're there, dude. Like that's the whole point, is that it's non-linear. You're able to choose how you want to proceed from now on. I mean, how many games back then boasted that kind of freedom? Not very many. I don't see it as a bad thing at all. Obviously,
liked
it's my
it.
favorite game. Yeah, me too. Man, that hurts.
Yeah,
That hurts, Isaac.
It does.
You know what? I don't like Xenoblade. It's it's not true, because I really do like it, actually. It's a good time. At this point, I will have beaten the game, by the way. So, I haven't yet because we're recording, but in the future JJ, congratulations
Yeah.
on beating Xenoblade,
Yeah,
buddy.
and hopefully, future Brian will have beaten Xenogears. Although every time I think I'm really far, and I say, "Hey JJ, here's where I am," he goes, "Oh my God, you're so far away." And I'm like, "But I'm like 44 hours in." And he's like, "Yep." I'm like, "Oh my God."
When all that weird stuff happens with the European Union, just remember I called it.
When that one random thing happens at one
Yeah.
point.
All right, so moving on, he talks a little bit about how he picked up Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, the new one, and he said he loves it. His favorite MMO and favorite Final Fantasy. That's pretty cool. I mean, it is a great game. I can't argue with that. It's fantastic. He says he plays. He doesn't play on my server though. That's too bad. If anybody does play and they would like to hop over to the Leviathan server, come join me. Let me know your info, and we'll hang out in game because I still play every now and then,
Nice.
along with the girls over on from Terra and Lightning. Terra and Lightning's RPG Roundup.
Does Lightning get her name from the namesake from Final Fantasy 13? Does that ever been discovered?
I would assume so.
In Terra from Final
Because-
Fantasy 6?
Correct.
No, those are parts of the planet. Terra means planet, and lightning is weather, so that comes from the planet.
Man, you
also.
guys are going to get me in trouble. They're going to be like, how did you guys not know this? And I'm going to be like, I never really thought about it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I
I just
figured
assumed it
it's-
was from the game.
So, right. That's why I'm asking, because, like, I'm a curious cat, yo. Hey, a guy's got to ask.
Well, it doesn't deter from the fact that they put out a great show still.
Maybe
So,
Maybe I assume it's their favorite female leads from the Final Fantasy games.
could be.
Hey,
Could be. You know what?
Inconceivable.
You know what?
I guess I should have shouted that.
Go listen to their show and
I
then
have.
send. And I'm talking to the listeners, Brian.
Very defensive,
Jeez.
man.
well, I'm just saying, like,
Go listen to their show,
Mm-hmm.
listeners.
technically, I'm a listener because
And
I
then-
have ears.
That's true. You
Okay.
are. And then email them and ask them whether their name is
Cool.
characters or from the
From
planet.
whatever Mark was saying.
I'm pretty sure it's from the game.
If they come back and they're like, no, Mark was right, we're Earthists.
If I was, if I'm right about that, I'm a psychic. I'm retiring and
Oh,
read
man.
poems.
Good stuff. All right. He also says that he's actually asked this quite a few times because this guy plays Isaac plays games just as much as we do. It
Yeah.
sounds like. And,
He's a lover of games.
I love when he emails us because him and I always go back and forth a little bit, and we just kind of BS about different games and stuff. And he says, what should he play next? He says he has all the Final Fantasies except for Lightning Returns and 11, which 11's another MMO, so it's not that big of a deal. But he says all physical copies except for 14. Which Final Fantasy should I play next? Between 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10 HD, 12, or 13-2?
Ooh. Definitely not 2.
I told him that Mark and I would probably have the same answer, which is 9.
13.
Definitely.
2.
Yep. And what did you say?
13-2.
Seriously?
I've never played it.
What? Then why would you suggest it?
Because I like 13 a lot. I'm just being honest. I honestly...
That's actually... Well, if you like 13, because I thought 13-2... Is that you chipping him?
Yeah.
I chipped him with my drink.
No, if I'm being honest, play 8. That's my honest answer.
Wow.
8.
Really? Well, because, 13-2 is a legit answer. If you like 13, which I think he told us in a previous episode he did.
He did, yeah.
I thought 13-2 was better than 13.
And I haven't played. That's why I was being jokey, but honestly... I'll save my opinion for a game I have played. And I loved 8, so minus the draw system.
He also says, well, there you go. 8 from Brian, 9 from Mark and I. So 2 against 1, play 9.
Think about that, though. 7, 8, and 9 were just amazing entries into the series. Like
Every game was an amazing entry into the series.
2 sucked.
2 is a little...
No, I'm sorry. 2 was terrible.
Honestly, though, if you think about how much of a step up it was from 1.
True.
At least from a storytelling standpoint.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I would prefer the job system to...
Although I still won't forget the
beating
line.
crap out of myself.
I'm back from hell to destroy the world. Okay, Emperor.
Okay, Emperor. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
He also says that he's been playing JRPGs straight for like 2 years now. So he's wondering if we can recommend anything maybe a little bit lighter. I figured you'd be a good person to ask.
Yeah, I've got a few suggestions. I don't know what you're looking for, but if you're looking for like really good stories, but they're lighthearted, I would honestly, this is going to be a really weird answer, but I would look into the Ratchet and Clank series. You can get the HD collection on the PS3, and then they have a bunch of PS3 games followed up. It is one of my favorite, like little campy, well-written, playing a Pixar movie type games. They're platformy, so if you don't like platformers, stay away from them. But honestly, Ratchet and Clank are great little, like, I call them diversions when you're tired of playing serious games. You just want a game to laugh and have fun. Yeah.
And if you are looking for a serious game that's not a JRPG, Last of Us.
Oh, God, yeah.
Shoot.
But you have to be in the mindset to really get depressed, though, if you play that game.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gut-wrenching moments in there.
If you're looking for lighthearted fun, play the Ratchet and Clank series.
Or you could try Beyond Good and Evil.
That very same concept.
Is that easy to get a hold of?
I think it's on
Steam.
PSN, Steam.
Oh, okay.
It's on Steam.
Well, look for it there.
Yep. Same kind of game. Really campy. Really good story. Funny.
It gets a little serious, but it's much more lighthearted than a lot of games.
Propaganda, just a bit.
Excellent. All right, cool.
Good reference.
Yep.
Thanks for the email, man, and thank you to everybody else who emailed us. We really, really appreciate it, and just keep them coming. If you would like to email us, hit us up at frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. We have our website up and running at this point. It should be good to go. Like I said, at the time of recording this, it's a few weeks prior, but I assume everything's up and running and going good. So
it will have been up and running for quite a while. There might be some kinks, some little things that aren't working right, but for the most part, it's good to go.
all the basic stuff that we want is going to be there.
And Brian's I've been on there just constantly rebut McIntyre and all y'all.
Okay. Check out our website at fngaming.net. We do have a Facebook still, obviously. Facebook.com/thefrozennorth. Got a Twitter at FN Podcast. Our blog is frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com. Subscribe. Rate us on iTunes. And just give us feedback. And you can actually the forum has a place for feedback now too. So even if you don't want to email us, give us suggestions. And if you hate our show, just tell us why you hate it.
Yeah.
Tell us what we can do
Yeah.
to be better.
Just go to our forum, register a user account, and then log in and give us all of your
And then tell
opinions.
us why Brian sucks.
Yeah.
You know
So
what?
you know what else?
You know what? If you send in some legitimate hate mail, I will give you a custom title on the forum.
Nice.
Oh,
Hey,
there you
guys,
go.
also another
my
good,
choice.
Another good thing
Of your
is
choice.
if you have some top fives you want us to do, hit us up with some ideas. We'll do some top fives that you guys suggest.
Yep, we have a suggestion place on
Yep.
the forums too. So please, by all means, we're we love hearing from
Yeah,
you guys. so.
absolutely.
All right,
We aims to please.
moving right along. Spotlight, we got one.
Hey, it's been a while,
It's been a while, yes,
but I
we,
rounded one up.
We got a good one.
The spotlight, the spotlight for this week is a game called Technolust: True Cyberpunk.
Oh.
It's from developer Iris VR and also Dark Phoenix Pictures.
Oh.
The game's described as the world's first fully immersive cyberpunk adventure, made exclusively for the Oculus Rift virtual reality system. If you take a look at it, we're looking at a very detailed setting, filled out with actually live actors filmed for sort of like news broadcasts that you'll see throughout the world. There's radio stations that you can tune into and listen to, and you can even go to arcades, and even though this is a game, you can log into the game within the game and experience that as well.
Yep.
It's like Inception, but games.
It's it appears to have the DNA of a classic 80s cyberpunk story, but with a 21st century mindset. What I mean by that is the Kickstarter makes a special effort to point out how close reality is getting to, cyberpunk tropes. We're a lot farther along than we used to be, in the 80s, 90s, whatever.
Obviously.
Today we have 3D printing, which is sort of like a primitive replicator, universal assembler type technology. We're on the cusp of viable virtual reality, Oculus Rift. And unfortunately, mega corporations with draconian intellectual property rights and
Oh, yeah.
the emergence of scary things like forced arbitration are becoming a reality. So Technolust is playing on that. It's about a very, very believable future in which corporations have basically taken complete control of society, and about the hackers who are trying to take them down and bring society back to order.
Nice.
Excellent. I think one of the cool things also is their pledge goal is so reasonable.
Yeah.
Like you look at video games on Kickstarter, and video games, at least in my experience from what I've seen, tend to be like the highest numbers out of all the things that I look at least. $30,000.
Yep.
That's it. That's all they're trying to hit.
Very reasonable.
And at the time of this that we're doing this recording, they've got 22 days left, and they're at 19,231. So, I mean, 22 days left, a little over 10 grand left to go.
Mm-hmm. I looked at KickTrack, and it looks like they're just going to blow way past that. I'm guessing by the time people are listening, they will have already achieved their goal.
Very
But
cool.
if I'm wrong, send me some hate mail.
Yes.
So yeah, looks pretty awesome. If you have an Oculus Rift, there actually is a demo you can download, experience the first part of the game. I checked out the Oculus developer forums, and it looks like people are eating it up. People are saying it's an amazing experience. So if you have that option, check it out. I think you will be forced to donate once you've done that. You'll just be compelled physically.
Definitely.
Nice.
It looks really sharp. So, and the fact that it's, this is going to be one of the first in a long line of games for the Oculus Rift that,
Yep.
it's VR, man. It's going to be awesome. You Mark, you got in touch with them.
That's right. Yeah, I've talked to their lead. I don't know if I want to say leader, but I talked to Blair. I hope I'm saying his name right. Blair Renaud, who is spearheading the game, and was able to ask him some questions. He had awesome answers. Those should be up on our website by the time you're listening to this. So log on, check it out. If you're a fan of Cyberpunk games, if you're a fan of virtual reality, check this game out and definitely consider giving them some money.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially if you plan on getting an Oculus Rift.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this looks like it's going to be, one of the must-haves right off the bat.
Definitely.
And it's, just judging by the looks of it, it's going to, like Mark said, it's going to blow past its goal. So,
Yeah.
What's better than putting your money into something that is going to get produced? So, all right. Here we go. We don't have a review this week because we are in the midst of playing some stuff, and the next review that we do is probably going to end up being Xenoblade Chronicles. Just waiting on Brian to finish that one.
It's going to be, hopefully it won't be that long. Oh,
That's a long game.
I know.
It is. Like I said, I'm done now, but yeah, about 50 hours. So we shall see.
Yeah.
But instead, we are going to, like we said before, Isaac had sent us an email, and one of the things that he asked on there I thought was kind of a good discussion topic, and we kind of decided to do another Beyond the Game segment. If you remember, Mark and I did an episode a while ago where we talked about villains and what different kinds of villains, what made a good villain, and just what it takes to be a good video game villain and that makes you stand out from others. This time, I'll just go ahead and read his part of his email here that we're going to be talking about. He says, I was wondering what you all think about religious diversity in video games. For video games that involve our own world and not the world of some faraway fantasy, I think that religions are dreadfully underrepresented. Being a Christian, I feel that many developers tote having gender as well as sexually orientative diversity, but don't promote the realistic proposition that about 1 in 4 people in the world claims to be Christian, 1 in 8 claims to be Islamic, and 1 in 8 that descend from the Confucian tradition. I just want to know, what do you think about this? You can probably put this in words better than I can.
Mark and I actually, before the show, we were trying to wrap our heads around what
Right.
we think Isaac meant by this.
Want to boil the question down into something finite.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like we're talking about how games have started to be a little bit more enlightened about how they portray certain types of characters, strong female leads, people of different sexual orientations. And his question is, why aren't there more positive representations or realistic representations of people with different religious affiliations? So that's how I understood it. I think Brian agrees with me on
I
that.
do. And I think to more elaborate on what you're talking about, I think what he means is, let's just say you have a game, set in a city. You never see a character profess to be like devoutly Christian or full on atheist or Islamic. It's not ever a, I guess, subplot of a story. It doesn't really ever factor in. And I think that's what he's talking about, where all the characters are really just their religious affiliations are usually ambiguous at best and never really clarified. I think that's what you mean, Isaac. If it's not, let us know. But we're gonna answer what we think you mean.
Let us know before the show's over.
Well,
Quick.
I mean, that's what we're gonna go on. I think that's right. I think that's what
That's
he
a good
means.
question, too.
I think it's a good question.
It's a
either
very
way.
good question. It made me think. It made me really think about. I had to put myself in the mind of a storyteller, though, a developer, and something that I guess I'll start about.
Yeah. So why do you think that is?
And this is I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't think it matters. And let me explain. When you're writing a story, and you have an arc, having, I guess, frivolous details sometimes muddy down a story, right? So it would have to be a reason for him to be a Christian. Maybe it's a Christian-based game, but just having a character say, I'm Christian, and then that's it, without any sort of, like, it feels like it's not needed. Like, we can maybe infer. We don't need necessarily have him represent it, unless it's obviously the arc is flowing in that direction, like it's, a story based on, Christian theology, then sure. But if it's just like a Grand Theft Auto game, we don't need to know Grand Theft Auto 4. We don't really need to know what Nico Bellic's religion is. It's not necessary for the story to unfold. It's not like if he was to come out and say, I'm atheist or I'm Islamic, it's not going to change anything.
Well, I completely see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, why aren't there more games then? Maybe that's what he's asking is why aren't there more games then that do showcase that kind of stuff that aren't like about something completely different, that aren't about the Grand Theft Auto plot, without having to shoehorn that in. They literally are about something that is centered around the Christian religion or the Islamic religion.
Okay.
There's there've been articles recently over the past couple of years touting how advanced video games have gotten, how open-minded we are now, how check out this character that was portrayed in such a sophisticated way, showing what real homosexuals are like, or showing a real strong female lead. So we've been patting ourselves on the back for that as an industry, and I'm probably going to upset people with this, I don't think video games are that far ahead. Where's the Philadelphia of video games, or the Milk of video games?
Right.
We're not really pioneering social justice with video games.
No.
We just have some extraneous character who happens to be something, and it's mentioned, and then we move on.
I think the reason people say that video games are so far ahead is because they typically associate video games with, things for little kids.
Sure, right.
But then when they actually look into what is out there, they're like watching a movie. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not something for little kids.
It depends on your metric. So if you're comparing it against what outsiders think video games are, it's way ahead of that for sure.
Correct, and I think that's where the misconception comes from. Because I agree with you. I don't think they're as far ahead as some people say they are.
Mm-hmm. So that's a question to ask. And as far as religion goes, I think people are a lot of things. People aren't just one thing, and
right.
A lot of people don't talk about religion all the time, every day, whatever. So maybe it just doesn't come out. If there's a game that could find an interesting plot to work in, maybe like a dilemma that the character has that's associated with their faith, then that would be interesting to explore.
Right. It would have to be entertaining, and that's, I think, where the crux of the issue is. There are some, Christian, theologic games out there, Dante's Inferno being one of them, that, it's definitely over the top. It's definitely an interpretive piece of, entertainment, but bottom line is the game's got to be entertaining, or you're not going to, it's the whole point.
Nobody's going to want to put any money into it.
Right. And so you have to, I'm not, everything I'm saying is not to be offensive, but I don't find much what's exciting about, I got to go to church on Sunday, or a character unless it's some corruption in the church might be interesting, or you have a bishop who's he's a corrupt bishop, but there has to be a reason for the character to be not just I'm Christian and I'm going to do this. That doesn't make sense. It's
I think there's workarounds though. There's always going to be something that you can make a story out of. Right. You just have to find the right writers and stuff.
Right.
The first thing that popped into my mind when I was thinking about this was fear. You can make fun of so many things, and you can make themes based on so many things. Religion has always been one of those iffy subjects where you don't want to overstep your bounds because that's something you just do not want to mess with.
The offensive property, right?
Correct.
Definitely.
That's kind of the first thing that popped into my mind.
Yeah.
You know what? Regardless of what kind of game you have, who you are, where you are, there's always going to be somebody you're going to offend, no matter what, regardless of what it's about. Perfect example.
Sure.
What's the name of the? I can't believe I can't. I'm brain farting. What's the name of the organization that protects animal rights and stuff?
PETA.
PETA. There are representatives from PETA who tried to have the Pokemon games banned
because you capture
because they were angry that these virtual creatures were being forced to battle with each other and stuff like that. And it's to us that sounds ridiculous, but there are people out there who do believe that some of this stuff is offensive or shouldn't be around and that kind of stuff. And like I said, religion is just, I think a lot of companies would rather go with a safe bet, something that's going to be dangerous and interesting, and not offend as many people, rather than trying to see how far they can go walking that line.
I think that's definitely a big part of this.
Yeah.
I mean, games are so under fire as it is for violence.
Absolutely.
People are always looking to, go on television and talk about how games are the cause of school shootings or whatever.
Yeah.
And if they took this risk and handled it wrong,
Right.
they'd have even more
Yeah.
people
And-
trying to place some sort of blame on them.
And as sad as it is to say, religion's a very divisive topic. So, I mean, you can just imagine, this character is, an Islamic character. How many Americans are going to, there's a lot of prejudice towards Islam in America. How many Americans are going to be like, I can't wait to play this game with a Muslim in it, or vice versa. You have this is a Christian game. Then people start going, this is a Christian game. I'm not Christian. So you have to, there's a lot of facets that go into this, like business strategy. Like, you don't want to pigeonhole something. You don't want to be divisive in any way. Like, what if you offend the Christian base and they're going to try to, get your game banned? And there's just all this.
Not even necessarily the game, but if you're a big company like EA or Square Enix or something, and you get something wrong, that's just going to, 9 times out of 10, people hear about this. They don't get mad at the game. They look at the company that made it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't know that the implications are the possible implications, I guess, are worth it. I'd be scared to death to do anything like that.
And
Not that I don't find it interesting. I think there could be a market for it somewhere out there, but I just don't know that it's worth the risk.
Yeah. And you could also say, I feel like religion is more of a normative aspect of society. It's more common and understood than other things like other gender orientations. So maybe it's just not something that you see. It doesn't express itself as much because it's so common.
Right, kind of like you're not complaining. It's kind of like Mark's exactly right. With religion, it's so commonplace that they don't really need to focus on it.
Like maybe a third of all the characters in a game are Christian. It just doesn't.
They
come
just
up in
don't. They
conversation.
just don't like raise their hand and say, "Hey, I'm Christian." FYI, like you infer it because you're in America, so obviously they are most likely Christian or identify as such. There's plenty of games with churches involved that are just there that you go into them.
Yeah.
They're part of the scenery. They're part of the landscape. So it's a part of the fabric of the realistic world, as Isaac says, and it's not necessarily something that needs to be highlighted because it is simply just part of
Atmosphere.
right?
Yeah.
I do think there is an opportunity for someone to go somewhere with this, though.
Yeah,
If the right developer came along, who has the right perspective on whatever religion they want to talk about, and they could do something interesting with it, they definitely should, and I would like to see that.
How would you market it though? Because you would also have to think about where your game is going to be released.
Yeah.
Perfect example, Mists of Pandaria. When it came out, wasn't there talk of China banning it or something because of pandas being involved?
Yes, I do remember that controversy. Yep.
That's obviously not a religion, but something as simple as
and
that.
they can't show skeletons over there in China. There's they have a lot of modifications. They have, so you have to. I mean, that's whether we like it or not. JJ is exactly right. There's religions.
Yeah, religion is like no matter where you're from, that's like the hot button topic.
Yeah.
So you really, I don't know. It's tough to find a place to really make this work, because let's say there is a game that has strong Christian themes that comes out in the U.S. Well, if another game comes along that has strong Muslim themes,
yeah, it's going to be received.
Obviously, there's some people who have a sore spot with that.
Yeah.
Especially in recent years and everything. But at the same time, I could see it from their point of view. Like, well, you say freedom of religion, you let them have their game. Why
Sure.
can't you let ours?
Yeah.
You really have to just kind of think about not only what you're going to be doing with your game, but possible future ramifications of other games coming out as well. I'm not saying either one would be a bad idea. I'm just saying, like, there are people who are going to be on both sides of the fence either way. So it's just a very, very touchy subject.
I think that we've kind of come to what we think, at least Mark and I'm not sure about you, JG, but it sounds like you're honestly on our... I think religion should remain in a background portion of games, especially with player agency. Like, why pigeonhole a character? Why not make the character ambiguous and let you, as whatever you are, present your beliefs onto that character, and then you kind of have, ownership of that.
Yeah.
If the character never says what religion he is, you can infer that religion on him. Like, oh, hey, maybe he's this, strong Christian man, and let's keep religion in the background where it's kind of like it's part of society. Like, I don't know. That's, I guess, my opinion
But
on it is.
if done right, it can work.
Well, I love
mean,
Christian
look at Xenogears.
Yeah, Christian theology is fascinating. You're absolutely right, but unless it's a game, Xenogears is a good point.
Correct.
It's-
There's obviously not Christianity in that game, but
Right.
it's a made-up religion called the Ethos.
Right.
And I don't want to go into spoilers or anything, but it's like that. That's a huge part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a made-up religion, so nobody's really gonna.
But it's
care.
it's
There's going to be people who are like, well, I can see you're making comparisons to Christianity or Islam or whatever. But I think it's different if you just label it something else, because then you can always hide behind that.
Well, and yeah,
If they flat out came out and said, this is Christianity,
yeah.
I think that game probably, the way that it ends up, probably wouldn't have gone over so well. So I don't know. I just dealing with the whole real world issue and what people really go through. Again, I just don't know that there's a lot of companies willing to walk
the
that
risk.
line. Yeah, it's tough.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
anybody got anything else?
I hope that's what you meant, Isaac.
Even
If
so,
not,
I mean,
hey,
Yeah. If not, we
Yeah.
got a good discussion going.
shoot us another email with
it's a really big question. I'm not sure I'm 100% satisfied with all of our answers.
No.
Because it's so complex
Wait, there's
and there's so many things to look at.
absolutely.
So I don't know. I don't know why I said that. Maybe we'll revisit it at some point.
I just think the plot
Because
has.
I'd like to look at that some more.
Well, go to our website, talk about it there.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's actually a great
Bam.
segue. We're going to have a thread dedicated to this question
See?
where we can continue the discussion. So
civilly.
check it out.
Civilly.
Yeah,
Because this religion can get pretty peckish.
Yep,
civilized.
Yeah.
So check it out at fngaming.net/forum.
Solid, Mark. All right, so what do we got left? We got the bi-weekly question. We didn't do one last time because we talked about Final Fantasy VII. Great game. I don't care what anybody says. It's awesome. Let's see. This week we asked, what is the longest amount of time you've clocked on a single playthrough of a game? And which game? Meaning like one save file. What'd the play clock say? Let's see. Sean says, Sean Widmer, our buddy over at Sean'sLife.com. I watched him stream. He streams some of his games every now and then, and it was a good time. I love his commentary. He's hysterical. All I'm gonna say is that I watched him feed a lady's hungry marmot.
Huh?
Yep, that's all I'm gonna say. It was awkward, but you know what? He got through it, and
And damn, that marmot was fed.
he grew because of it. So congratulations,
Whoa.
Sean. He says he played 24 straight hours of Madden 2003 on PS2.
Oh,
That's a lot of Madden.
That's a lot of Madden.
That's like probably 23 more hours than I've played.
Oh man. Let's see. Matt says 350 hours on GTA 4. Dang, man.
He's including multiplayer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It says the story was about 50.
Still pretty
and
long.
That's still pretty long, and the multiplayer was addictive. Ethan says World of Tanks. I think that's an online game. Honestly, like MMOs would probably take the cake in this.
I'm not going to include WoW because it'd be like my top 5.
Yeah,
So
it'd be ridiculous.
yeah,
So, I mean, maybe we'll say that in the future. What's the longest you ever had a character on MMO or something?
yeah.
That'd be embarrassing, though.
You don't want me to tell you.
But Ethan also says longest single play time was 2012, the Extra Life Charity, 24 plus hours. Yeah. Let's see. David Tott, 380 hours on one no fast travel playthrough of Skyrim on the 360.
Damn,
That's just
he's really RPing. RPing,
no
dude.
fast
He's an
travel.
RP city.
Man, how many dragons did he fight?
Probably like thousands and millions.
Did all the DLC and every quest that didn't bug. Wow. Except the Stones of Berenzia.
Berenzia.
I remember that one.
Because there's one that if you don't get it, there's just no way to get it later.
Yep.
He said it took about 3 months. Wow. Man, it's a great game, though. I love Skyrim. Isaac says, as a testament to how I try to beat games as quickly as possible, the unheard of Xenoblade Chronicles is for me the longest playtime with about 85 hours, if you include New Game Plus progress. He said, I've never 100 houred any game but MMOs. Huh. For me, oddly enough, Pokemon Blue,
Ooh,
probably. Other than, obviously, WoW or Dark Age of Camelot.
Pokemon Blue.
Or Final Fantasy 11. Yeah, Pokemon Blue. I maxed out the clock on that one. Just doing everything. And, you know, something about that game when it came out, just collecting the first 150 Pokemon, I really felt like I accomplished something. And it was just, you know, good stuff. Other than that, I think Skyrim I've got like 68 to 70, something like that. So,
Yeah, that's mine. Skyrim started out on the Xbox 360, playing it with a controller, thinking it was awesome. Put in probably 40 hours, maybe a little bit more there. And then I got super jealous of all the mods and everything on the PC. So I took a thumbstick, copied the save file over. There's a tool. I found it on Reddit and was able to continue my save file on the PC and put in another 35 plus hours there. So 75-ish hours.
I didn't even know you could do that. I mean, I mentioned that to you before, but I didn't even know you could transfer from 360 to computer.
Yeah, I was shocked too. But
That's pretty cool.
there's a huge thread on Reddit about it.
Awesome.
And then I got Esbern. I had him follow me everywhere. Everywhere.
Esbern. You should have just Esburned him.
Whoa! You making Esbern jokes? You're a comedian now? How are you going to disrespect on Esbern
Did
like
he
that?
really help you at all?
He did help me, man.
Did he, though?
I could go into dungeons and have Esbern and,
Yeah.
what was it, Mule?
I don't know.
Mule? I'd have them go fight the Centurions
While you
Hung
went to the
that
treasure chest and
and
stuff.
took
Yeah,
the
that makes
treasure.
sense.
Yeah,
Kind of leader are you?
Unbelievable.
that's
That's what a leader does. He has the other people do the work for him.
yeah.
No, they lead into battle.
I was the boss.
Gotcha.
He
Boss
did. He was the first one in the room.
Boss
He just
man.
didn't do anything. You?
I think I'm gonna have to use mine as a technicality. I can't use any MMOs because that's unfair. It's the Mass Effect series, and let me explain. It's one save file.
I can't even.
Yeah.
Whenever he says it,
It's one save file. It's the Mass Effect series, guys. I'm sorry. Right before 3 came out, I decided to freshly play a brand new save file. So I fired up, and I was in between jobs, so I had a month in between a job that I had and the new job that I had accepted. So I fired up Mass Effect 1, and I did every single quest, including all the Mako, like, find the little... Don't you dare bugle me. Because this is a story.
yeah, that is a trademark.
telling-
I'm like out.
I am telling a story about the Mass Effect series. Gotta do my crack.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I played Mass Effect 1, every quest, every side quest, I found all the minerals, all that, everything done. And same with 2, same save file, because they transfer over. Every side quest, everything complete, all characters, boom, right.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did the question say, what's your longest playthrough of a game series?
Nope.
It said single save file.
Longest
Technicality.
amount of time clocked in a
What is
single
the
playthrough
longest-
of a game.
Oh.
What is the longest amount of actual playtime that you have put into a single game?
Probably Mass Effect 1 then.
Seriously?
I did everything.
How much was it, though?
I don't even remember.
Hey, driving around on the Mako probably was very time consuming.
Everything. You know how you have to get all the minerals and all the like the war assets and the Solarian.
Oh, said
Every
3.
single side quest completed. Probably.
Would you say you perfected it?
Yes, that one I perfected.
23%.
Yep, 23%. Perfect.
Oh, my goodness.
So Mass Effect 1, probably. I don't know. Final Fantasy 7 was also way, way, way up there. I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 7. When I got the Knights of the Round and did all the Chocobo racing and got Omni Slash and killed everybody and tried to do all the weapons, kill all of them. I got all
You're
of
just
them.
going to change your mind every 3 minutes.
I feel bad that we bullied him out of.
I know, right?
No,
His
because
original
honestly,
answer.
I think Final Fantasy 7 was because I did everything. I tried to kill all the weapons. I got all of them except for stupid Emerald.
Because if it was the save file thing, mine would probably be Mass Effect 2. Because
Yeah.
I did 40. Well,
It's true.
I did 20 hours on the first one. But then I
It
did
will be The
40 on
Witcher
second two.
Not for me.
once the third
It's-
one comes out.
It's probably fine. It's probably Final Fantasy VII. I mean, probably dropped almost 100 hours in that game
Woo!
in single save file. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. So
Very cool.
all that for that. I could
that
have
for
just
that.
kept it real simple, but I had to go way around and realize that.
Well,
Final
you have to.
Fantasy
You can't go an episode without mentioning Mass Effect. So,
Gotta do my crack.
all right. Anybody else have anything?
I have like
Herpes?
no.
Whoa! This is not age appropriate.
Did you know that glitter is the herpes of
wasn't
the
a bad
craft
word.
world? It's a medical term.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something about glitter. It's the herpes of the craft world. If you get glitter on you, it's there and it'll spread.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to make it weird.
I can't.
You know?
I have to just stop talking before I really make it.
Yep. Just stop. We need an adult.
Yeah.
All right. Please check out our website, www.fngaming.net.
Yep.
FN Gaming.
Check it out. Next week's bi-weekly question.
Oh, good call. Good call. And I just may or may not have closed the
You want me to read it?
notes. Yes, please do.
What is an old franchise that you would love to see revisited with a new entry?
Half-Life 3.
Good call.
Half-Life 3, Beyond Good and Evil.
Is that what it's going to be called? Half-Life,
Half-Life
3
3.
Beyond
No,
Good
they're
and
both.
Evil?
A mashup.
I'd
We
play
just
it.
discovered
I'd play
a
it.
mashup. I would play it so good.
Oh, my goodness.
10 out of 10 would play again.
All right. So, any old franchises that you, not even necessarily a franchise, just a game that you're like, you know, this deserves a sequel. This is something I want to see them redo. Yes, we understand a lot of people want a Final Fantasy VII remake. That's not what I mean. I mean like a new entry into
A
some
Final
series or
Fantasy
something like that.
7-2 would work. Like a sequel to 7.
No,
Like Dirge of Cerberus? Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
the Myst series.
Good talk.
Ooh.
Yeah, there hasn't been one of those in a while.
I'm just.
What about
We're answering the question this week.
Zork?
You choose from all the games that we've... No. Let us know. Let us know on Facebook. Email us. Website. Tell us. Give us feedback.
Shout it from a mountain.
Rate us on iTunes. Please rate us on iTunes. And if you're not going to rate us on iTunes, at least send us some hate mail for Brian.
Absolutely.
Please. So
Bring me your hate.
that's what we ask.
I will destroy it with my love.
Well, I've got nothing else. Brian?
I'm not falling for it.
I'm not.
But you did speak first.
He did. I was looking at him like, is he going to say something? No, I got nothing.
Brian?
I feel like I'm close to beating Xenogears. I think a couple more weeks might get her done.
Don't act like you're not enjoying it.
No, it's I like that. Like I said to JJ before the show, I was like, man, I keep telling you where I'm at, and you keep telling me I'm so far, but the good thing is I'm not getting burnt out on it.
That is good.
So yeah, I'm still trucking right along and making it happen.
All right.
All right.
Mark, do you have anything?
I'm going to go home and reinstall The Witcher.
Oh,
Right. Sweet. All right. With that, I'd like to
Spoilers.
thank you for giving us about an hour of your time.
yeah.
We appreciate it. And with that, this is the Frozen North signing off. My name is JJ.
My name is Mark.
Why?
Thanks for listening, and keep on gaming.
This song was made available via the Creative Commons Attribution License. The song, Somewhere in the Stars, was written and produced by SoundCloud user _TWC.